right, the time has come to survey the damage of California's latest exercise and masochism. Let's see how you voted and what the results of this vote will be. Without further ado, Proposition 14, Stem Cell Research, authorizes $7.8 billion to renew stem cell research funding. Howie Mandel is here to reveal the results, and here we go. Proposition 14 has passed. That means stem cell research in California will be continued via debt in the form of bonds. The total cost will be $7.8 billion, and it will all be paid off by 2050. And for our Darryl Johnson Show fun fact, while I took no public stance on this issue at the time of recording that video, I've since fallen on the no side. My reason was that I don't think the money will be spent in a reliably responsible manner, and I believe that there's sufficient private interest in the funding of stem cell research. Proposition 15, Commercial Property Tax Raise. Increase taxes on businesses for school and local government benefit. Ariana Grande is here to announce the results for this one. Proposition 15 has failed. That means that nothing will change in regard to commercial property taxes. Companies will continue to pay based on the property value at the time of purchase. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact, I think that this proposition was the most boring of the series this year, but thanks for watching. Proposition 16, Affirmative Action. This makes affirmative action legal again in California. Angela Merkel is here to help with Prop 16. Proposition 16 has failed. This means that it will continue to be mostly illegal in California for government agencies and universities to consider race, sex, color, ethnicity, and national origin. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact, I expected to receive a lot more hate and outrage than I actually received from this proposition. Moreover, it was probably the most shocking proposition on the ballot in my opinion. Proposition 17, Voting on Parole. Allows people on parole to vote before finishing parole. Prop 17 will be presented by Donald and Hillary. Proposition 17 has passed. That means that people on parole will be able to vote now. Proposition 18, 17-year-olds voting. Allows 17-year-olds to vote if they'll be 18 by the next general election. Greta Thunberg will be helping us out with this one. Proposition 18 has failed. That means that you must be 18 to vote, period. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact, this proposition and Proposition 17 were the least watched videos of all the propositions. I guess it was a gut response for most people. Proposition 19, Residential Property Taxes. Loosens property tax transfer laws and tightens inheritance tax laws. Miranda, would you mind? Excellent. Proposition 19 has passed. This means that if you are over 55, disabled, or a disaster victim, you will be able to move anywhere in the state and transfer your current property tax to your new home, or a similar but adjusted rate if you're buying a more expensive home, and you can do this up to 3 times. If you are inheriting a property, you will be able to keep the old rate only if you're using the home as a primary residence, and the rate will still go up if you are inheriting a high-value home or farm. All other inheritance properties will be subject to a tax rate based on the current value of the property. The money raised from this proposition will go to state fire protection. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact, this proposition was my anchor. It was the most watched of all the videos and was the video people sought out for greater detail due to its complexity. Proposition 20, Toughen crime laws. This proposition was intended to toughen California's crime laws, and it will be presented by PewDiePie. Proposition 20 has failed. This means that criminal law in California will not change. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact, this is the proposition I dreaded the most due to its complexity and detail and convolution. Proposition 21, Rent Control. Allow rent control in California. Proposition 21 will be presented by Calvin Cortazar Broadus Jr. Proposition 21 has failed. This means that California's Costa-Hawkins laws will remain in place, keeping rent control mostly illegal in California. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact, last election this was the most heated proposition. This time, nobody really cared. Also, I'm really shocked this keeps failing. Proposition 22, Rideshare Driver laws. Allow rideshare drivers to remain independent contractors. Prop 22 will be presented by Joel Osteen. Proposition 22 has passed. This means that rideshare drivers will continue as independent contractors, but they will have a few new perks now, like earnings minimums, health insurance stipends, and injury pay. They will also be capped at 12 hours per day of driving. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact, If you watched the whole series, you'll notice that there was a new feature this year I called the race card feature. I only got one complaint about it, but I'm sure there were a few others who were miffed. But I felt compelled to highlight what I saw as a manipulative effort to capitalize on our nationwide racial unrest to pass goofy legislative policies. They were literally saying, pass dialysis regulations because of black and brown people, pass internet privacy because of black and brown people, pass Uber driver employee laws because of black and brown people, pass funding for stem cells because of black and brown people. It was ridiculous, insulting, and manipulative, and that's why I began counting this year's race cards. Though fear not, I do not intend to continue this feature. Proposition 23, dialysis clinic regulations. Increase regulations on dialysis clinics. Prop 23 will be presented by Jussie Smollett. Proposition 23 has failed. This means that nothing will change for dialysis clinics until 2022, when they'll probably try this again. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact, I hate medical propositions. Proposition 24, internet privacy. Alters California's internet privacy laws. We will now be joined by Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Proposition 24 has passed. This means that California's internet privacy laws will apply to less businesses, but will be a lot more intense for the businesses it does affect, and consumers will have more say in how their information is used. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact. Now that all the dust has settled, this remains the proposition I was most unsure about, and even as I've solidified opinions on others I was split about, I'm still a little bit iffy on this. It was so messy and conceptual, but I do expect the subject to be resurrected in a very near election cycle. Proposition 25. Eliminate cash bail. Replace cash bail with judicial assessment of the accused. And for Prop 25, this woman is back again to present. Proposition 25 has failed. This means that cash bail will remain a constitutional right in California. Darryl Johnson Show fun fact. The guy in the video threatening to shoot people changed his mind. He will no longer be shooting people who didn't donate, so sleep well. For President of the United States, our winner is Joe Biden. Now, I want to thank everyone who took the time to send me kind, encouraging comments. These videos are a lot of work, as you would imagine, and affirmations really do help. I especially want to thank those of you who went a step further and donated. Thank you very much. And now the heroes of this election cycle. If you've been aware lately, you know that there's a lot of censorship by big tech, and it's increasing by the day. Twitter decides what news you can share. Instagram blocked all hashtags until after the election. Facebook admits to suppressing the posts of certain people and organizations. On YouTube, unfortunately, my channel has been the victim of suppression. I don't have any hard information on that, but looking at the view count of my videos in relation to prior years and where they show up in the search results, it's clear that YouTube has begun a campaign to promote election coverage from specific types of outlets. And unfortunately, I'm not on that list, so I do not have sponsorships or ad revenue, and now access is being suppressed. Last election, a great group of people pitched in to support the channel. This year, others did, so I do want to thank Kevin Pham, Jordan McJordansberger, AJ Braden Fox, Ryan Clover, Rise Above, Michelle Perez, Albert Dawson, Delilah Laval, Kelly Reagan, Jennifer Coleman, Latoya Bass, Gregory Manhart, Harrison Sheplin, Deontay Lang, Roberto Figueroa, Sean Gergerich, Douglas Johnson, Renee, and Michelle Walker-Wade, Rashida Bass, and Dart Fool. Their contributions are really the hope of the future, and not just for my channel, but many others. YouTube is a different place now, and while it's easy and convenient to watch videos from corporate news organizations that don't directly need the support, the consequence will be the elimination of many of your favorite independent channels who receive no funding and very limited access to the online community. Going forward, I encourage everyone to think hard about the value of such channels, as many will go under in the coming months. Thank you, one and all, for watching and for casting informed votes. Those of you who've been here a while know that I don't post much after the election season, but if you're subscribed and receive notifications, you will be notified about a very special video coming out in the next week or two with some interesting California-style guidelines. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you soon.